All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over some green, yellow Yamato. That's right. We have gone through all of the new OP12 leaders since the sim has been updated. I will have that. I will have those videos linked in the comment section below. And I've done two of the new starter deck leaders, Purple Black Luffy and Marshall D. Teach. Today we're doing green, yellow Yamato, and then over the course of this next week, and maybe even going into the weekend, depending on what comes up, we should be done with all of the new starter deck leaders as well, which will be Shanks, Bonnie, and Buggy. Okay? I say new leaders. They're not really new leaders, right? But they've been revisited. They have starter deck cards, new support given to them. Okay? So with that in mind, let's get into today's video. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description. Now, this will be, I kind of skipped a step there. This will be a standard video where we go over the deck list first, then we hop over to the sim. Guys, this leader, my games were lightning fast, a lot of these games. So we got 7 games to go over today on the sim, and then we will finish off the video by wrapping everything up there. We'll do a recap, and I'll tell you guys what I think about this leader moving forward. Okay, so very standard, very straightforward video today. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and their summer kickoff sale is live. They're offering 10 to 40% off site-wide across the entire store. For a limited time, get a free playmat tube with every Sun God playmat purchase while supplies last. Also, don't forget to use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout for an extra 10% off. Alright, so let's go and break down the deck list, starting off with the leader. Yamato is a 5,000 power, 4-life, green-yellow Land of Wano leader with double attack and activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 3 or less life, attach up to 2 Rested Dawn to one of your characters. Okay, so now we're going to run through the entire list. If you're a newer player, be sure to pause and read these if you don't know what they do. Okay, I'm going to mouse over each one as we go over them. So we're running 4 Izo, the 2K counter Izo. We're running 4 Hody Jones. Running 4 Yamato, the new Searcher Yamato, running 4 Onami, running 4 Hiyori, running 4 of the new 2-cost Izo, the one that can get blocker and has banish like Onami, running 4 Kikinojo, running 4 Nekomamushi, running 4 Kinemon, running 3 of the 5-cost Momonosuke, running 4 Denjiro, running 4 Nami, and running 3 of the new 6-cost Momonosuke. So what this deck is trying to do, okay, what the deck is trying to do is early on, you're trying to get down, turn 1, just do your Searcher, right? And then turn 2, typically the way that I play it, there are other versions of Yamato you're going to see out there. Like some people like to play the Fortress version, where it's a little bit more defensive. It's not as like low to the ground, and it's not as aggressive as what you see on the screen here. But with this version of the deck, what we're trying to do is we're trying to go turn 1, play out this new Yamato, okay? And then turn 2, we're actually just going to load everything up on our leader and just start smashing their face. That's how this leader is meant to be played, at least in this version of the deck, okay? So again, it's turn 1, you slam down Yamato for a future turn. Turn 2, you swing for 8 or you swing for 9, whatever you can pull off with, whether you went first or second. And then you try to get them down to 3 life. The reason for that is notice what the leader does. Number 1, they have double attack, right? So whether you're going against a 5-life leader or whether you're going against a 4-life leader, it doesn't matter. If you connect 1 time with Yamato the leader, your opponent will be at 3 or 2 life, okay? So they'll be at 3 or less life. So the activate main will be turned on where you can attach up to 2 Rested Dawn to one of your characters, okay? And that turns on a lot of other effects in the deck, things like Kikinojo on KO and Trigger. If your opponent has 3 or less life, do the effect. The Trigger plays the card for free. The on KO gains you a life. Nekomamushi, this has, Trigger. If your opponent has 3 or less life, play this card. So does, I believe the new Kinemon does as well. Yeah, if your leader is Land of Wano and your opponent has 3 or less life cards, play this card. Denjiro, if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, play this card. And notice with Denjiro, Dawn times 2, so that goes perfectly with the leader effect, right? Just to attach 2 free Dawn. If your opponent's life is at 3 or less, this character cannot be KO'd by effects. And then Nekomamushi, Dawn times 2, this character can also attack into your opponent's active characters. Okay, now this one, for the Dawn times 2, it doesn't require your opponent to be at 3 or less life, but still, the whole idea is meant to be, okay, when your opponent is at 3 or less life, now you can attach that 2 Dawn for free to this character. Okay, So really good stuff here. And we did get some nice new tools to play with from ST28. I'm not running all of them in here, guys. Notice I'm running everything actually except the Ashura Doji, because I just try to play this deck so much more aggressively. And again, if you're trying to build like the more fortress version of the deck, if you're trying to be more defensive, this card could be really good for you. I'm just going to read what it does real quick. It's a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter character, Ashura Doji. On play, if your leader has the land of Wano type and your opponent has 3 or more life cards, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 5 or less. You know, that's a solid effect. However, for what we're trying to do, like the way that I'm trying to build this list, I'm actually trying to go turn 1, you know, play out the Searcher, or maybe even Hiyori if I'm going second to set up a life card, maybe like, you know, a trigger body or something. And then turn 2, I'm trying to put 4 Dawn on my leader, or 3 if I went first, and I'm trying to swing in for 8 or swing in for 9, and I'm trying to crack their life down. That's what I'm trying to do. Again, it's not that this card is bad, by the way. You can absolutely still run it, but I was going for a slightly different direction with this, you know, with this version of the deck here. And I will say this one thing I will say is if this card read the exact same way as Kikanojo, if it said you know, if your opponent has 3 or less life, then I would probably still run the card, right? Because then I could use it later on in the game to get through you know, annoying blockers and stuff like that. But you know, now, you know, in the current version of the deck, if I'm going back and forth with my opponent here and I knock them down to like maybe 1 or 2 life and I'm trying to go for lethal, I can't even use this card to KO their character because they have to be at 3 or more life. So that's why this card did not quite make the cut in the version that I'm running here. So that's Ashura Doji. Now, the other cards, let me just run through the cards and we'll talk about them. You know, this is the new Searcher Yamato. It's a 1-cost, 0 power, 1k counter Searcher with Dawn ×2. Your turn, this character gains plus 3,000 power. And then on play, you do a top 5 search for a Land of Wano card that costs 2 or more. The reason it's worded like that is so that it can be Yamato and still search up other Yamatos. It can't search up Searcher Yamato like this, but it can search up like the 5-cost green Yamato, the secret from a while back. Let me just type in... hang on, let me do it like this. Whoops, hang on. We got to get it on the screen for the newer players who don't know what it is, because it's a really cool card that no one really ever got a chance to figure out. And this card seems incredible, right? It's a 5-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter character with double attack and banish, right? So the card was really, really awesome, but it just never sticks to the field, or your opponent can play around it too easily. For whatever reason, this card never could really pop off like it looks like it would. Like when you read this card, you're thinking, dude, this card is insane, this card is cracked, and it just never really panned out that way. Okay, now back to the ST28 cards real quick. So we got this new Searcher Yamato, and it can search up other cards named Yamato, but it cannot search up the 1-cost character Yamato, or even 1-cost cards period, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's unfortunate that it was done in that way, because you know there's a lot of really powerful 1-cost green and yellow effects, or events rather, that I would have liked to be able to search up with this card, like You Can Be My Samurai or any of the defensive 1-cost utility events. I wish I could search those up, but this card literally cannot do it. So anyway, so this is the new Searcher. Still a very powerful Searcher, guys. It's a 1-cost, and it ends up being like a 5,000 power attacker. As soon as you activate your leader's effect, you can just attach 2 Dawn for free to this card, swing in for 5, and then if they attack into it, oh well, you know, who cares, right? It doesn't even really matter. It got its value and everything. Really solid new addition to Yamato, probably no matter what way you build the deck. This is a really good addition to the deck. Next up is Izo. So this is a 2-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter character. It has that Dawn ×2 ability, but this time it just gains blocker. So like Yamato is a more aggressive version, you know, or how do I say this? You know, this uses the leader effect in a more aggressive way, whereas Izo uses it in a more defensive way. And this has on play, your Land of Wano type leader gains banish during this turn. So before we only had Onami doing that, giving our leader banish with double attack. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? That, as it turns out, that's a pretty solid effect there. Okay, so now we have a second version of that, and they're both 1k counters, and they both have, you know, they both have their different perks. That's why I'm running 4 and 4 of each. The Onami, you know, this is a 2-cost 3k, 1k counter with on play, give up to one of your leader or characters banish for the turn, and then trigger, you can K up a 5 or less. Like, this trigger allows you to K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. This card's incredible, and with it being a 3,000 power character, you know, later on in the turn, you might, you know, well, on a future turn after playing out Onami, you'll be able to use the leader effect to attach 2 Dawn, and you're swinging for 5, right? Just incredible synergy with the leader. And then on top of that, now we have this new Ezo where it's like you know, I guess this one's probably better to play out earlier on than the Onami, right? Because Onami can give banish to something like a Hody Jones, or maybe this new Momonosuke we'll talk about in a minute. And then this Ezo, on the other hand, you know, you attach, you know, you play this down, give your leader banish, smash in for 7, hopefully it hits, and then you can attach the 2 Dawn you used to play out this card. Like, you know, you play this card out for 2 Dawn, right? Okay, well now after you attack him with your leader, if your opponent's at 3 or less life, you'll be able to use the activate main of the leader to give the 2 rested Dawn you used to play this card out, you can give it right back to this character, and now they have blocker, right? So really good stuff here, great addition to the deck. Okay, we talked about Ashura Doji. Then Kinemon, this is just a great addition to the deck. It's a 2K counter. It's a 4-cost 5K, and it can come out of play like right out of your trigger spot here, or excuse me, right out of your life from the trigger. And it's another card we can put into our life with our Kazuki Hiyori here, you know, to set up some tempo for the next turn. On top of that, you know, I am running the 5-cost Momonosuke so we can recycle these Hiyoris while playing out big blockers and stuff like that. And yeah, it has, you know, there's a lot of value there. Okay. And then last but not least, we do have the 6-cost, the new 6-cost Momonosuke in the list here. This is a 6-cost 7K. Your turn, if you have 2 or less life cards, your leader gains plus 1,000 power. And then activate main. Once per turn, you may return 2 of your total, 2 total of your currently given Dawn cards to your cost area rested. And then this character gains rush and plus 1,000 power during this turn. So the idea is you're going to, you know, use your leader effect however you need to for the turn, and then you're going to be able to activate main, return 2 Dawn cards back to your, you know, to your cost area rested, and now this card's going to get rush. So say you play this card out, say your opponent's at 3 or less life, okay, and you play this card out for the turn, that's going to be 6 Dawn, right? Well, now what you'll be able to do is put 2 Dawn onto one of your characters with your leader's effect, and then after that, you're going to be able to return the 2 Dawn with your Kazuki Momonosuke's effect, and now he gets rush. So this is a really nice card. I will say this. It's an odd card to me. It's a little bit weird. I understand what it's trying to do. I understand the design intent and all that stuff. But I'm not a huge fan of it, like, within the list. I'm only running 3. I could see in the future going down to just 2 of them. I think I'm just always going to want to play Hody Jones, guys. I pretty much just always want to play out Hody Jones and go from there. I think it's just the better call 9 times out of 10. And I guess, yes, this is a card you can play out on curve. So let's imagine how the game might go. I always want to go first. But let's just say we're going second for this example. If we're going second, we can go, you know, turn 1, play out our, the new Searcher Yamato, or play out Kazuki Hiyori or something like that, and maybe, you know, put a trigger into life. I don't know. But let's just go turn 1, Searcher. Turn 2, we can either play out a 4-cost card like Nekomamushi, the new Kinemon, or even Kikinojo, and then attack in. You know, but now we're not really doing much for our leader's effect, right? We're not really getting that double attack potential. So again, I would rather just swing for 9, right? Let's just swing in for 9, get our opponent down to 2 or 3 life, and then next turn on our 6 Dawn turn, that's when we would play out Kazuki Momonosuke. And if that's, you know, if that is the case, then what we'll be able to do is play him out for 6. We won't have any characters on the board in the situation I was saying if we just attack in for 9, but even if we use our leader's effect to attach 2 to this character, we can then return the 2 Dawn back, you know, attach 2, so play out Momonosuke, right? So I guess we should swing first. Well, actually, it depends what life we're at. But let's just say we swing with our leader first for 5. Then we play out Momonosuke. We attach 2 rested Dawn to him with our leader's effect. Then we return the 2 rested, you know, the 2 Dawn attached to Momonosuke from the leader's effects back to the cost area, and then we can swing in for 8 with this character. You know, it's an option. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I would rather just go about our normal game plan of just let's go first, right? Go turn 1 Yamato, go turn 2, swing for 8, and then go turn 3, start you know, turn 3 will be very, it really depends going first because it's a 5 Dawn turn. You might want to maybe play out Momonosuke to put a card back into life if you got a trigger or something, or else just start giving your leader banish and start smashing in for 9 plus, you know, 8 or whatever plus banish. And then after that, we follow up with a Hody Jones turn. And that's kind of the way that I run this list. And you'll see that in today's games. But again, I'm not like, it's not that I don't like this card. I just feel like it wasn't the number one thing that this leader needed. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Just please be nice. I'm not saying it's a bad card. It's just not really the way that I intended to play this leader. I wish it was something else, especially if it was a 5 cost with that effect. Then I wouldn't care as much, because then we could go first and still play this out on our turn 3, 5 Dawn turn, and go from there. I wish they had kind of built it around that idea and then changed the effect ever so slightly, but who knows. Okay. So that's about it, guys. Again, let me just go over the game plan one more time. We want to, typically speaking, the way that I build the list, I want to go first. I want to go aggression, aggression, aggression. I want to go turn 1, play out the searcher. Turn 2, swing for 8. Turn 3, I want to start playing banish cards. That's how I'm going to play the deck, and then I'm going to close things out with Hody Jones. That's pretty much how I play the list. So let's do this, guys. That's enough yapping. Let's see the deck in action. All right, so first game up we have against Black Yellow Linlin. That's right. Volume's off, speed's on 2x. Here we go. Good old Black Yellow Linlin. I'll have to revisit that leader soon. We have not revisited that leader in a while now on the channel. Okay, so we're going to go first. They're going to play out the 2K counter pudding on their turn 1. We have no turn 1 play, unfortunately. We're going to play out the Ezo that gives Banish. We're swinging for 6,000 power with Banish. They're going to use a 0 cost 3K to get out of that. They don't want to lose. Okay, pause. Okay, we got a little Banish showdown here, right? They're playing out Onami. They're going to swing 7 into 5. Now, they don't have double attack on their leader, but I also don't want to lose a life in that way because I run a decent amount of triggers that I could get some advantage from coming out of life. So they're going to swing for 7 into 5 here with Banish. I am absolutely going to 2K, 1K to get out of this, and I'm probably going to give them the Ezo and the Kazuki Hiyori to do so I can try and banish them back this turn. Okay, yep, and that's exactly the play. We're swinging in for 8 with Banish. They lose 2 life there. It does not go to hand. I put 2 Dawn. Okay, they hit me with a negative hollow. Hang on, this is a fast game, guys. I got to pause it. This is a lightning speed game here. Like, a lot of the games today are very, very fast. Okay, they hit me with a negative hollow. They made me discard a card from my hand at random. It was a Hody Jones. But look at our hand, guys. We had 2 of them, so we don't really care that much, right? We don't really care that much. We did attach 2 Dawn at the end of our turn there with our leader's effect onto one of our Ezos, so now they can be a blocker. Okay, so here we go. They're going to swing for 5. We're going to take it. There's a Kikanojo trigger. They're going to swing for 5 more. We're going to take it. There's an Onami trigger. We're not going to worry about that. They're going to swing for 5. We take that one as well. And now we are going to play out this. We're going to swing in for... I'm going to swing in for 8 here, I guess. Gets rid of their last life. We're going to attach 2 Dawn there. 2 Dawn more with the leader's effect. We're coming in for 10. They had 1K counter left in hand. Lightning fast games. Like I said, guys, okay? Excuse me, especially into the 4 life leaders. Now, I will say this. When it comes to green-yellow Yamato... hitting for double attack into a 4 life leader, if 2 attacks go through, they've lost all their life, right? Just 2 attacks from your leader. It's like they're a 2 life leader, especially when you have Banish built in, where they're not drawing any of the cards, okay? So, good game to my opponent there. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, we got a game versus Blue-Yellow Ace. Like I said, we do have 7 games to go over today. So the volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, so Black-Yellow Linlin. Now we have game versus Blue-Yellow Ace. This is a leader I cannot wait to revisit with all the new OP12 cards. Yep, guys, I cannot wait to revisit this leader. So we're going to be going second this game. They're going to go first. They play out 3 Brothers Bond on turn 1. They're going to smash in for 7. We just take it. And now we're going to swing for 7 with double attack. He gives us a 2K, 1K. Okay, they're running the version of Ace that does run the 2 cost Goa characters. Okay. So this is probably a more traditional Ace list. This is probably not a the life gain version like what I run. Okay, they're going to put a 5 cost Rush Ace into life, but it only has Rush if you're at 2 or less life. They're going to swing in for 7. They attack in, and what just happened there, guys? I'm sorry, I missed it. Did we hit a... Oh, we hit the Nami from trigger. KOing the 5 cost Ace seems good. We'll take it. Okay, we're going to play out Ezo here. We're swinging for 9 with Banish and double attack. Look at this, guys. They're a 7,000 power leader. They give me a 2K and a 1K. All right, so they have 3 of the 2 cost Goa characters in their trash now. 3 of the 2 cost Goa characters are in their trash. Most of the decks only run up to 8 of them, right? So they only have 5 left in their deck somewhere. Okay, so they're going to swing in for 7 here, 7 into 5. We're just going to 2K, 1K to get out of that. Or it might have been, I think I gave them the Yamato and a 2K. All right, here we go. We have no more ways to give Banish, so now we got to start beating in. So double attack for 7K there. They take it. We're going to attach 2 Dawn. I have to read the effects here. I think I need to attach 2 Dawn to Ezo, then I'm going to return the 2 Dawn on my leader, and now I'm going to swing in for 8. They'll probably take this. They're down to 1 life. I think it is smart to go down to an odd number of life against Yamato, because double attack can't get through one life, right? You only take the one life, the next hit does not do lethal. So going down to an odd number of life versus Yamato, I think that is a good call. They're going to swing 7 into 5 here. Excuse me, we can block this, we're not going to. We take the hit, we get an Onami trigger, KOing another 5 or less. Guys, we've KO'd 2 characters now, one with an Onami and one with the 5-cost Nami. We KO'd 2 different aces. All right, we're going to play out Hody Jones here. We're going all in. I got to do a little bit of math here. I'm going to swing in for 7. Okay, just waiting on them. Okay, and then I think we're going to swing for 9 and swing for 9. Pause. How was I going to do that? So I was going to attach 1 Dawn to Hody Jones, okay, to swing for 9, and then we were going to attach the final Dawn to Kazuki Momonosuke and return 2 Dawn cards back down to my cost area and give him +1, and he'll get Rush again for what that matters, but he was already able to attack anyway. So I think it was going to be swing 7, 9, 9. Good game to my opponent. We were able to blitz him down there, and our life bailed us out, right? Our life bailed us out of a lot of trouble there. So either way, though, good game to our opponent. Okay, next up we have a game versus I almost called it Silver's Rayleigh. No, against Shanks, Red Shanks. Okay, volume's off. Speed's on 2x. Here we go. So not a good pull. Not a good pull here, guys. We have no early turn 1 play. Turn 1 we just passed. There's nothing we can do. I did not see the 1-cost Yamato very often in my testing. That's just bad luck. There's nothing, it's not like it's the sim or anything. That was just bad luck. So we're going to swing for 9 into 5 here. They're going to take it and go down to 3 life. Very nice. Now we can start taking hits here and maybe getting some triggers. Now swinging for 6. I do have a 2K actually. Excuse me. I was going to say if I didn't have a 2K, I think I should have taken that. Okay, here we go. We're going to swing for 7. He'll probably use Leader Effect in 2K. Yep, makes sense. We're going to play out Kikinojo, pass the turn. And guys, I'm just hoping they don't have a Ben Beckman, right? As long as they don't have Ben Beckman, I think we're fine here. As long as they don't have Ben Beckman, we should be fine. Okay, the new gate, I don't care as much about. They're going to swing in for 6. Are they going to go ahead and use the Building Snake right here to -3? They're not. Okay, so I'm actually very confused why they did not want to use Building Snake there to go -3 to my Kikinojo and just KO it with new gate. Just get it out of the way. Get it over with, move on, So we're going to play out the Momonosuke here. Well, now we're going to get some extra value from it. We're going to swing for 8. This is going to be swing 8, swing 8, swing 8. They're going to use their leader effect, 2K, 1K, or actually, excuse me, 0 cost 3K seems good. Returning those 2 Dawn. We're going to swing for 8. Then we're going to swing for 8 more. They're going to block it, KOing our Kikinojo. We gain a life back, and we're actually doing pretty well here. Okay, they're up to a 9 Dawn turn. They're going to finally use that Building Snake to -3 the Momonosuke, KOing the character with the new gate, and now they're going to swing in for 5. We're just going to give them a 1K here. They play out a Lucky Roo. Well, guys, you know what? Let's just play Hody Jones and go for lethal. What do you guys think? Yeah, let's just go for lethal here. We're going to swing 8, swing 10. So even with Leader Effect, that can only drop us down to 7. Now swing 10. Okay, they have to have a 2K, 2K, 1K to get out of this. They have 2K, 1K, 1K, GG. Good game to my opponent. Now, here's the thing. I will say that might have seemed like a super risky play there, and it was definitely risky, but at the same time, if they tried to go for lethal on the crackback here, I think we actually probably could have gotten out of it to some extent because we had 4 1Ks, a 2K in life, and then we had the Searcher Yamato in life, so we had a 2K and a 1K in life. I think we might have been able to get out of that, believe it or not, especially if they try to go for a few 7s at first. We could just 2K, 1K, and then 1K, 1K, 1K to get out of that. So either way, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Oh, and what I was going to say was even if they didn't attack in with these Lucky Roos, like say if they tried to defend with them and not go for lethal, no problem. We could actually just hit him with a Hody Jones and tap those down again and go for lethal. So either way, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. All right, now we got a game versus Green Purple Luffy. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Guys, if you like running the more aggressive decks in the game, you might want to try Yamato out. If you've not tried out Yamato, this might be a great starter to get you into the game with. Okay, so they're going to go first. They play out the Searcher event. We go second. We have no turn 1. As usual, guys, I could not find that 1-cost Yamato Searcher in all my play testing. I mean, I saw it every now and then, but it was very rare. Okay, they're going to swing in for 5. I think I should counter out of this just in case we have a trigger on top of our life that goes off of our opponent having 3 or less life. They're going to play out Frankie. We're going to put this on here. We're going to put Banish on our leader. We're going to swing for 7. They just lost 2 life cards. Now we attach 2 Dawn to our Izo, and we're feeling pretty good about that. They're going to play out the Sanji and Pudding here. They're going up to a 6,000 power leader. They swing for 5. I'm going to I think I counter out of this one. I was going to say, I think I should not be too greedy here. Okay, we go ahead, and that was a close one. Pause. One thing we should really talk about considering here is that 5-cost Onami, the trigger that just KO'd the Sanjin Pudding. You do have to discard a character with trigger, or a card with trigger, in order to KO a 5 or less. So that was almost a bad thing right there, right? Because we only had one left. Watch this. I should have just counted out for 2k there, and then he swings in for 6, take this, and now for Nami, I can KO that, and I get to cycle a card. But that was almost very scary there. Okay, now watch this, guys. This is a fun one here. Okay, we play out the Yamato. We finally got the Yamato Searcher, right? We got the Yamato here. We're going to play out the Neko Mamushi. We're going to swing for 6 and a 4. He's going to let it go. We're going to attach 2 Dawn to the Izo after that. But watch this. Guys, he should have used the blocker. Watch what he tries to do here. Plays out the 7-cost. Dawn minus, didn't even do a Dawn minus, and now he's trying to use his leader effect. But bad news. He's not going to get to stand any of the Dawn up. Why? Guys, let me go back real quick. Monkey D. Luffy, Green Purple Luffy. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -2. If you only have Straw Hat Crew type characters in play, you can set up to 2 of your rested Dawn cards as active, and your leader gets plus 1,000 power. Well, wait, that's Chopper, right? Yeah, it is Chopper. But unfortunately, Chopper, this version of him, is a Animal Foxy Pirates type character. So he was not able to do his effect. That's why he left the way he did, guys. That's why he just straight up left, because he tried to stand 2 Dawn as active to play out another Chopper for the turn and be a 6k leader. But bad news, he can't use his leader. He cannot use the leader effect, right? He can activate it. He can do the activation cost of activate main Dawn -2, but you won't be able to do the effect. Okay? All right, good game to my opponent. That was a good thing to learn from there. Next up, we have a game versus Ace, okay? Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, this time it's red Ace. We went against blue, yellow Ace, now we're going against red Ace, and we're starting off first. Never lucky, we never get the Searcher. They're gonna go turn 1 buggy, and here we go. They do some searching there, and now we're gonna swing for 8 with double attack. Yep, that's how we do it, guys. We're just going in for double attack here. I just want to get them down to 3 life. Okay, they might have had a trigger there. It didn't do anything, though. And now it's back to them. They're down to 3 life, though. That's all we needed. We just need them at 3 life, and then we can start doing things. They're going to swing for 5. Honestly, I think I should get out of this, but I'll probably risk getting a trigger. We get a trigger, but it wasn't the one I wanted. We're not going to KO the buggy. We don't care about that. Okay, so right here, I think we're just going to load up for 8 more with Banish, and now we're going to be able to give that Izo blocker. That new Izo card with the new with the old 2-cost Onami, really good card there. Really good cards for the deck, especially for this more aggressive version here. So now we have a blocker. We got 2 2k counters out of their hand that time. They're going to swing for 5. I think I should counter out of this. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Nami here, because I don't think that card's going to be very useful against Ace. Because we don't want to KO that Zoro, then they just get like a 5-cost 6k Ace for free or something. They're going to swing for 6. I think we might take this one, but we do have 2 2k counters. Yeah, I like countering out of that. Against any kind of aggro list, you should be very careful about your life total. Okay, here we go, especially when I want to play out Hody Jones. Okay, just doing a little bit of math here. We'll see what we choose to do. Honestly, I like just playing out Onami here and swinging for 7 with leader. You know, that'd be 4 Dawn. We'd have 3 Dawn left, but then the follow-up wouldn't be too great. So maybe just go all in. Double attack, Banish. No, I'm just kidding. So they're able to counter out of that with their leader effect. Excuse me. We play out the Denjiro here, and we do attach 2 Dawn to our Denjiro in case they try to KO this card with something like a, maybe something like a Jet Pistol or whatever it was called. Jet Pistol, Gum Gum Mole Gun, you name it. Okay, they attack in. We get a Denjiro trigger. Let's go. We'll take it every time. They attack in again. We take it. It's never lucky. Only got one, only one trigger this game, guys. Never lucky. I'm just kidding. But no, we do take those. They swing in for 6. I think I'm going for lethal here, so we take it literally just to be greedy and go for a trigger. We get a Kikanojo. They're going to swing for 6. We're going to obviously get out of this, no problem. And now we're going to have Hody Jones. We're all in here, guys. We're all in. So we're going to play this, rest down their only Dawn, and then we're going to attach 2 to our leader. We're coming in for 7 here. If this goes through, they lose 2 life from that, guys. They lose 2 life because it's double attack. And now we're going to be able to swing for, I think, 6, 6, 8, 8. I think, okay, they got a Gum Gum Mole Pistol to get rid of our guy. Seems good. And now we're going to swing for 6 and then 8, 8. And if it doesn't go through, then we're done, right? We lose. We pretty much lose on the spot. They're going to Rad Beam and Flame Emperor to go +2. Okay, now I know they're in trouble. This would, and if they were using 1Ks like that, they're not getting out of this one. And then we go in for 8 more. Good game to my opponent. Now, they had a lot of gas left in the tank there. Look at their hand. We were done for next turn. There was no way we were surviving. Okay, good game to my opponent. We got 2 more games. We got a game versus Black-Yellow Luffy. Okay, that's right. Starting to see some Black-Yellow Luffys pop up because I think one did pretty well recently in a regional. Okay, so here we go. Did I hit play? Yep, we're just waiting for our opponent to start here. The volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. So, we do push that hand back. We finally go turn 1, and we get the Searcher. Let's go. You love to see it. So we play that out. We fix our hand a little bit. We get a Momonosuke. We've got a pretty decent hand, but we really need we need those 2-cost banish characters. That's what we really need. So, okay, whatever. We're swinging in for 8, and pause. So they take the hit, which I expected Luffy to do. They want to get down to 0 life as quickly and as carefully as possible so they can start using their leader effect. But here's my problem here. Unfortunately, with the new 1-cost Yamato, you can't attach like given Dawn to it with the leader. The leader effect can't attach Dawn that's been given. It can only attach rested Dawn if your opponent's at 3 or less life. So it's like we play this out on turn 1, and then we can't really use it until the next turn or something, right? It's not the worst case scenario, but I'm just saying it would be nice if there was a little bit better synergy going first and being aggressive with the leader. Okay. So here we go. So we go ahead and swing in, and then they just trigger. They get rid of it. Never lucky. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we can't ever make that Yamato work for some reason. I can't get that Yamato to work like the way I imagine it to work. Okay, so they go ahead and use Zeus there. They get rid of our character. They go down to one life using out the Zeus. Then we swing in for 6. They take it. They're down to 0. We play out Kikanojo. They're going to attach 2 Dawn to their leader. They're going to trash a card. They're going to gain 2 life. They're going to play out a Sabo. They're a 7,000 power leader. They're fixing their hand, and now they're probably just going to smash in. We're going to take it. Okay, we get a trigger. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to KO any of those characters, though. Okay, and now it's our turn. So we're on a 7 Dawn turn. And we can actually gain life here. So the nice part about this turn is we can actually gain life if we need to, but I don't think we need to. We're at 2 life. They only have 2 relevant attackers on the board. So we're going to swing 7. We're going to swing 8. We're going to return 2 Dawn. We're going to swing 8 more. Very, very nice turn for us there, and it slowed our opponent down big time. So now they're down to 0 life again. They're going to 2 Dawn on leader, trash a card, gain 2 life, play out a Sabo, play out a Luffy. They're at 9,000 power now. And they're going to go 13 into 5. Okay, so we're going to take that. We get a Denjiro. Okay, getting some pretty good luck from our life here, guys. We're not complaining about that. We are not complaining about these triggers we're getting from life, but I think we are running about 20 triggers or so, right? Okay, so right here we're going to swing for 9. Watch this. We're going to swing 9. We're going to hang on. I think I need to use the leader effect first. So return those 2 to yeah, there we go. Okay, so notice what I did there. Not leader effect. I had to use the 6-cost Momonosuke's effect to return 2 Dawn that was given to a character to the Kikanojo, and now he got plus 1,000 for the turn. Okay, then I'm going to attach a Dawn to him and swing in here for 9. I think I could have attached 2 more Dawn to him that turn. I might have messed that up in my head. I'm not exactly sure. Whatever the case was, I think I could have actually swung for even bigger there. But oh well. We got a blocker now. We have 2 life. We have tons of counter power in hand. We're going to probably, I think we're going to bait him into attacking here. Okay, swings for 5. Yeah, we're just going to block that for free. They play out a Sanji. And guys, now we're probably just going to go, play out Hody Jones here. Rest down some blockers. Yep, swinging in for 7. That's going to be a 2K, 1K, or a blocker. Okay, 2K, 2K. Seems good. We'll swing in for 7. We'll swing in for 8, 8, 8. Right? So at the end there, we're going to be able to swing for, I think, see, I messed it up again there because I could have attached 2 Dawn to Denjiro, leader effects, 2 Dawn to Kikanojo, return 2, make this Momonosuke an 8. We were messing up a little bit with the sequencing here, but hey, we're still learning the deck. There was a more optimal way to play that. Either way, our opponent, there was no way they were getting out of it, even with a less than optimal approach to going for lethal there. Okay, good game to my opponent. We got one more here. We got a game versus Kalgara. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. I like these fast games. I really like these fast ones. This is a very enjoyable leader, I have to say. I'll probably revisit it again in the future, and I will be going about it a much more trigger aggro feel like what you see here, maybe with even more triggers. Like, I don't even know if I need that 5-cost Momonosuke in my hand, the blocker when it gains life. I mean, it did help that last game there, to be fair. Maybe we still run a few of those, but I think I just want to go super heavy on triggers. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to chain together some, yeah, I was going to say, it looks like I was going to swing for Banish there, but no, we're just going to swing for 8. Again, I think that's the right call, because it activates all of your triggers, all your Land of Wano triggers early on, and you want to get that out of the way so then you can start making more, you know, effective plays later on. You know, in the later turns. So they're going to play out Ohm. They're going to swing for 5. We're going to greedily take this, and we're going to pop their Ohm with a Onami trigger. You love to see it. And now they lost one character there. And now we can start swinging for Banish. Okay, now we're going to play out Izo. We're going to swing for 8k with Banish. He's going to need to give me a 2k, or he's going to lose 2 life cards here. Okay, and Kalgara does not mind going down to low life, but not when they're losing it from Banish, right? No one wants to lose life from Banish like that. One was a Satori trigger. Okay, seems good. Now we're swinging in for 5. Let's go, Yamato getting in there for 5. You love to see it. Okay, finally getting the value there. We could have also played more defensively there and given the Dawn to the Izo, but that's not, you know, we don't need to do all that. You know, you don't always have to make that play, the defensive one, especially when we're at 3 life. And we actually have decent counter power in hand. We have 6, 7k counter in hand. So we're doing just fine here. There's no risk of losing the game this turn, so we can be a little bit more aggressive. And the very first thing he should do is swing Shura into my Yamato. That should be the very first thing this guy does this turn, is just swing Shura into Yamato. That way I'm letting it go, and he can go from there. Yeah, another thing I should mention while this guy's taking his time here, this guy was taking a little bit of time. Who knows? It might have been a new player, right? We have to be, you know, you have to be nice to everybody. And so they're going to swing 5 here. Hang on. I'm going to 2k counter out of this because I don't want to give him my Banish card there. So then they swing in for 6 more. I think I might take this one. They have 4 Dawn left. Oh, they're choosing on whether or not they want to use their leader's effect. They do. They do use their leader's effect there. They're going down to 0 life, and they cannot play out Nolan this turn to gain a life. They don't even have a Kalgara on the board to gain a life with, I think. I think you have to have a Kalgara on the board to gain life. But what I was saying, actually lost my train of thought there. Oh, that's right. I was going to say, always use your board first, so that way your opponent has no information about what you're trying to do to follow up. Always try to use your stuff on the board first. Okay. So they play out Ashura. They're going to pass the turn back. They have 2 Dawn as active. I could try to go for lethal here with Hody Jones. Looks like I'm going to. Looks like we're going to go for lethal here with Hody Jones. But I don't think I fully go for lethal. Watch this, guys. They have 9 or 10 cards in their hand. So I'm going to swing 5 with double attack. That doesn't matter anymore. Anything that hits is going to win me the game. I'm going to swing for 5. They give me a 1k. And now I'm only going to swing for 8. Because I'm not going for lethal. I'm swinging for 8 here. I'm getting a huge body on the board, and then I'm going to attach 2 Dawn. So they use a 0 cost 3k and a 1k, and now I'm going to attach 2 Dawn to my Izo, and now I have a blocker. I have an 8,000 power body on the board, and I'll just, you know, I can just go for lethal next turn. That took a lot of resources from them. They're going to swing for 6 here, cheating out the Wiper. They didn't have any life cards left, so it didn't matter, and they're going to do a search for that. I think they're searching up some type of, like, upper yard, you know, or excuse me, they're probably searching up some type of defensive event. Okay, here we go. Let's see what they do here. They're swinging for 6. I might even take this, guys. As crazy as that sounds, I might actually take this. Because there's still no blocker on the board. Okay, so they do get an upper yard. They're doing some searching. They grabbed a Kalgara. Okay, and here we go. So I do 2k counter out of that one, and now they have a 5k and a 7k attack left for the turn. Remember, they can't attack with Wiper. Okay, 9 into 8, you're not getting that card. We're getting him a 2k, and now even if they attack into it again, I'm just going to block out if I have to. I'm not letting him have the Hody Jones, because I am going to go for lethal this next turn. We are going for lethal this next turn here. Okay? So they're going to swing for 8 into 8. Okay, well, here's a 1k. I don't even have to give them the blocker, and now they have 2 Dawn as active. Okay, we draw a card. We get a Denjiro. We don't care. We're swinging for 5, and then we're swinging for 17. Okay, that is what we're doing here. So let's do some math real quick. So 5, let's just say they have a 1k counter in hand and they have 4 cards left. They have no blocker, right? Even if they have 2 L Thors, they'll go from 5 to 9, 9 to 13, and then even if the remaining 2 cards are 2Ks, it will not get them out of a 17K. So this game is over. This is just a calculated lethal, swinging for 5 here. They have to give me a 1k counter or more, and then the 17K from Hody Jones. You can't counter out of it with 2 Dawn active like that. You just can't do it. Okay, coming in for 7k. Like I said, if they have if they have 2 L Thors and 2 2k counters. Okay, they have an L Thor, so they're going to go up to 9. They have a Wiper 11. Then they have the Earth Will Not Lose plus 3. They're at 14, and then they have the new 10 cost Enel. Which, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of the new 10 cost Enel in Kalgara. I do like it in Enel though. Okay. So that's it for the games, guys. Let's go ahead and recap here. We'll check out the deck list one more time. Yeah. What you see is what you get here, guys. It's a super aggressive list, like you saw. We just want to beat them down with double attack with our leader and banish. Now we don't have to just rely on Onami. Now we can search up, or excuse me, we can't search up Onami, but now we can go banish with Onami or banish with Izo, and then we're going to try to capitalize on our triggers. In this list, in this version of the list, we're running 4 Kikinojo, 4 Nekomamushi, 4 Kinemon, and 4 Denjiro. So that's 16 triggers that are bodies that come into play as soon as our opponent is at 3 or less life. So 16 triggers that are bodies, and then we have 8. We have 8 more triggers, so that puts us at 24 triggers altogether of cards that come into play, and they can KO stuff. These are not trigger bodies per se, but they come into play and they KO things and help us out. So I think going forward, I will say this. Let me just type in trigger. I think going forward, I would like to introduce more triggers into this list. Go figure, me being the red, yellow Sabo player, there's a Trigger Rush aggro version of that deck. I like the Trigger Rush aggro version of Arlong. It's just what I kind of like to mess around with it in this game sometimes. The Trigger Rush stuff is very interesting to me because I am a yellow main. So one thing I think I might introduce in the future is even more of the Land of Wano cards that just come into play for free if your opponent's at 3 or less life from the trigger. That's probably the direction I'll be exploring in the future here, because I can still run Kawamatsu, I can still run Inurashi. There's a lot of other cards we can still try to mess around with for our leaders and with that trigger. Hody Jones is definitely staying in the deck, but I will say this, I don't know if I'll even keep like Kazuki Hiyori in here. These are the cards that are on the chopping block for me. I'll probably keep Yamato because it is at least a searcher, but it can't search up Onami. And I'd rather just always get access to my banished stuff. So we'll have to see. I'm not even fully set on this card, as crazy as that sounds. I would rather just, even if I have to run like the 2-cost searcher to search up something like Hody Jones. Like when I say 2-cost searcher, by the way, I mean the cards like this. Like the 2-cost event here, it says us, top 4 search for a card that costs 4 or more. So with something like that, we can search up the Hody Jones. But yeah, that's one option. Because Hody Jones is definitely the closer in here, and I think all I want to see in my opening hand is one of these cards like Onami or Izo. That's really all I want to see in my opening hand, and then from there it's just all face all the time, right? Excuse me. What else? Frankie's a decent idea if I do get rid of the... Okay, so hear me out. That's what I was going to say. If I get rid of Momonosuke, the blocker, and this 6-cost Momonosuke, and Hiyori here, I can fit in 10 more triggers, right? Crazy idea, right? Crazy idea, but I could fit in 10 more triggers. And I do like triggers, even like the non-Land of Wano triggers like Sanji. I think this is still just a high quality, trigger body that comes into play, and we're good to go. All of these are actually, these original Big Mom Pirates ones here, like Cracker, Smoothie, and then Sanji, Vinsmoke family, but y'all know what I mean. These all kind of came out at the same time, in OP03 and then OP04 for Sanji. These are really solid trigger bodies. And what else? That's real. Honestly, that's kind of the direction I'm leaning in my head. The other option would be to go a more like fortress build, like it's way more defensive, and then of course I'd probably get rid of most of the triggers in here and go from there. And who knows, going into OP12, let me just bring up all the OP12 cards real quick. If we go into OP12, then we get access to like this Kuma here, and we could just actually gain life instead of like trying to burn down our opponent's life. We could try something like that. We'll have to see. That's for future testing, for OP12 testing. But otherwise, and even this Dracula Mihawk, that could be an interesting curve there, guys, that only green-yellow can do, where it's like, okay, turn 3 Bartholomew Kuma, going second, turn 3 Bartholomew Kuma into turn 4 Mihawk. Like, that's a pretty nice curve, right? On paper, that's a pretty nice curve. So we'll have to see about that. We'll have to do some testing in the future. I'm sure I will revisit this leader in the future, trying a more fortress build, but for those who are interested in the more aggro version, I think we can definitely drop down to 2 of this Momonosuke here, and maybe drop all of these 6-cost Rush Momonosuke's and try something from there. We'll have to see. Because again, I'd rather just have more trigger cards and just go face is the place. That's the way I'm leaning towards. Now, as far as events go, I do want to bring up some of the events real quick. There are a lot of really good 1-cost utility events in the game now. Let me try and find them. I can't. Oh, they're in numerical order now. That's right. I'm still getting used to that. I really like that it's sorted by cost. Like, notice that it's sorted by cost now. I'm a huge fan of that. I just have to get used to it. Okay, so the card I was talking about, there's two main cards to talk about right now. It's Gum Gum Elephant Gatling, one cost. It's a 3K counter for your leader, but it also has main. You may rest one of your Dawn cards, and you can rest up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or less. This card is just really, really solid. It's, like I said, it's a one cost 3K counter. We'll take that every time. And then on top of that, we can pay 2 and rest down one of our opponent's blockers, like a 5 cost or lower character, and go about things that way. And then there's also this new Demonic Asura 9-sword style Dead Man's Game. This is another really solid card here because it's a one cost 3K counter, just like we saw with the Gum Gum Elephant Gatling, but it's also a 4 cost rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards. It's basically a 4 cost Hody effect. So this would be a really good addition to the list potentially. And then for yellow, I think they have a few good ones as well. Well, one of them we can't run, the Slam Gibson one. This is a Supernova main effect here. We can't use that one, unfortunately, but we could try something like Gum Gum Red Hawk, which really is similar to that Asura Doji card we were looking at, but I think it's less restrictive because it says, and it does cost 1 more, though, in that case, where it's a 1 cost, and then you may rest 3 Dawn, so it's 4 cost, and if both players' total amount of life cards is 5 or more, we can KO up to one of our opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. So I do like the idea of this card right here. I do like this card here, and in any of those green cards we were just looking at, like the Dead Man's Game or the Elephant Gatling. We'll have to see. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. I think we have a lot of potential, though. I will say that. Oh, another card. Hang on. This one, not quite. I was going to say, if this allowed us to rest one of our cost 2 or greater characters to rest a 5 or less, then I would definitely recommend this one. Because we have a lot of 2 cost characters in here that we're, kind of done with after we use them, like Onami, even Hiyori, and Izo. Like, once we use these characters right here, we're kind of done using them. Izo at least can double over as a blocker, and I guess Onami can, technically we can attach 2 Dawn to this with our leader effect and swing it for 5 later in the game, but still, we're not really, that's not really what we're trying to do, right? It would just be nice if this Demon 9 Flash here, if it said if you could rest a 2 or greater, then it would be perfect for what we're trying to do. Either way, that's okay. All right, well, that's about it, guys. That's all I got for y'all today. Tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. I know a top 16 list just came out, guys, for this leader. In fact, let me try to bring that up on the side over here, guys. I'll try to bring up the top 16 list for Green Yellow Yamato. This happened literally just over this past weekend at the time of recording this in I messed something up there. Whoops, there we go. This happened just over the weekend at the Las Vegas Regionals. Okay, I'm going to bring that list up on the screen now of a top 16 Green Yellow Yamato list. And they're running it slightly different than what I'm doing, but that's, that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Right here, we're over on Eggman Events site. Be sure to check that out if you've not already. But this is the list. They got top 16 at the Las Vegas Regional. And notice this. It's actually very similar to what I'm running here, but they're running this Tonoyasu card. Okay, very cool. It's a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter, Land of Wano character. Even though it says Wano country, it's Land of Wano. And it has effect, activate main, trash this character, and up to one of your Land of Wano type leader or character cards gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. Okay, so you're going to be able to buff up your leader and smash in for extra power there. Seems good. They are running 4 of the Asura Doji cards, so they decided, yep, we're going to keep 4 of those in. Everything else is pretty much the exact same. And we're even running the same amount of Momonosuke's. That's kind of funny. The 4, now they are running the demonic or a 9-sword style Demon 9 Flash or whatever. See, man, how crazy. Maybe it would have been too strong, guys, but imagine if you could combo this. Let me read it real quick. Effect main, up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. Then you may rest one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more, and if you do, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Imagine how insane that card would be with Tonoyasu, where it's like, okay, for 4 Dawn, right? Play this Tonoyasu out for 2, and then for two more Dawn, right? So 2 Dawn to play this out, and then 2 Dawn to play out the Demon Flash. Resting this card down to rest down their character, giving plus 3, and then trashing this character afterwards, give another plus 3. That would have been crazy. Maybe that's why they made Demon 9 Flash be a 3 cost or higher character. That would have been so insane if you could do that. Okay, very good stuff here. But yeah, I'm basically just favoring a little bit more triggers. You know, I got rid of, so my version is very similar to this, but I'm not running the Tonoyasus. I'm not running the Ashura Dojis. I'm just running triggers in the place of those. So I'm basically running 4 of the 5 cost Nami here, and then I'm running 4 Denjiro in the place of Tonoyasu, but he's only running 3 of those, so I guess -1 of this event here to go plus there, and then he's running, oh, and he's only running 3 Nekomamushi, so -1 of these to go +1 Nekomamushi. So actually a very similar build to mine, though. Mine's just a little bit more aggressive. It looks like they're favoring a little bit more control and get really aggressive in the mid-game, but hey, it looks like it worked out very well for them. They got top 16 with this list. Okay? All right, let me get off here real quick and go back to our deck list. That's pretty much all I got for you today, guys. Tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Huge fan of this leader in the more aggressive route. I know a lot of people want to see a fortress build for this. I will try to revisit that in the future, and it will look very different from what you see on the screen here, I think. Okay? All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me get the outro page on here. Guys, if you are supporting me in any way, shape, or form, I appreciate it. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my videos, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, Discord community, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. All right, I'm done. We will be streaming tonight. I always forget to mention the stream, guys. We stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. here on YouTube, here on the VV Theory channel. So be sure to check that out as well if you get bored. All right, I'm done. Till next time, guys. Peace.